So let us talk about the anomalous behavior of nitrogen. Since we know that the head of the families means the element which are present on the top of the group, they have, they shows special behavior. You can say different behavior as compared to the other member of the family. So there are so many reasons, and the main reason is the less number of electron as compared to the other members, and atomic size, smaller atomic size as compared to the other elements, other members of the family. Okay, so let us talk about the anomalous behavior of nitrogen. Nitrogen is gas, all are solids. Okay, nitrogen is a gas only, but other elements or other members of the family are solids. Nitrogen diatomic, others tetraatomic. So when nitrogen combines, so it forms N2, nitrogen molecule, gaseous molecules, but others combine in tetramolecular form, atomic form. Okay, form hydrogen bonds in hydrides. So nitrogen form hydrogen bond when form hydride after combining with the hydrogen. Okay, form p pi multiple bond. P pi is means we know this thing that we have three parts of your suborbital p, x, y, z. So sigma bonding and pi bonding, two types of bonding are there in the p. So when head to head overlapping, at that time sigma bond form. When side to side overlapping will be there, at that time pi bond will be formed. So this hydrogen form p pi multiple bonds. Range of oxidation state is -5 to +6. So the oxidation state range is also very large. It reaches from -5 to +5. No d orbital does not form coordinate compound. So the d orbital present in this, it does not form any coordinate compounds. Let us talk about the dihydrogen molecule. Since we have studied just right now that nitrogen has capability to form diatomics. Okay, so diatomic means N2, dinitrogen. This is nitrogen gas. So boiling point is 77.2. Okay, and we can separate it out, or we can just produce it by the fractional distillation of air. Since air is a mostly the main source for each and every gas is air. Okay, air is a mixture of a number of gases. So if you want to extract out air, so you can go for fractional distillation of air. Fractional distillation is like on different fractions, different gases separated on the basis of their points. Okay, boiling point. After that, in lab you can just form N2 by this reaction, NH4Cl. This is ammonium chloride plus NaNO2 gives N2 plus 2H2O plus NaCl. And from azides also, azides from azides like 2NaN3 gives 2Na plus 3N2. So there are 2-3 methods by which you can obtain N2 gas, dinitrogen gas commercially, or you can say or in laboratories. So chemical properties are like this: nitrogen has two isotopic form, 14 nitrogen and 15N. Two isotopic forms are there, 14N and 15N. So they can ask you in 1 mark question, since board is going to give us objectives in board examination. So this can be a 1 mark question. 14N and 15N are the two isotopic form of nitrogen. Okay. So what are the chemical properties? So they can react with metals, non-metals as well. So when you react nitrogen with the metals, so that magnesium is the example, 3Mg plus N2 gives Mg3N2. When you react it with the hydrogen, it will be like NH3, 2NH3 at a specific temperature and boiling point. This is a STP reaction. At that time, you have to control pressure and temperature both simultaneously. When nitrogen reacts with oxygen, it forms nitrogen monoxide at 2000 Kelvin temperature and in an electrical arc. Okay, why electrical arc? So that the molecules, both the oxygen and nitrogen molecules can break into simpler atoms. CaCO3 calcium plus, CaC2 plus N2, it gives CaCN2, calcium cyanide plus carbon. Okay, so you can react your nitrogen with the hydrogen, oxygen, metals, non-metals as well. All right, so these are the chemical properties. Preparation of ammonia. So preparation of ammonia, how you can prepare the ammonia. So there are two different methods. First is laboratory method, and then another one is the commercial method. Laboratory is when we make like small amount of ammonia out by mixing some chemicals. So we can prepare ammonia or other components, other compounds in laboratory and commercial. When we prepare anything on laboratory, so we'll take small amount of chemicals. Okay, so first the preparation of ammonia in according to lab method. So in laboratory, when we get time to get into the laboratory, or when we'll go for the practical, I'll just show you the videos. So ammonia is prepared by heating a mixture of calcium hydroxide and ammonium chloride. Okay, if you heat ammonium chloride, so with the calcium oxide hydroxide, what happen? Calcium chloride will form, ammonium will form, and water will left behind. Okay, so this is the basic just a general preparation method by which you can prepare ammonia. We just separate ammonia from the chloride. This is what type of reaction is this? See, NH4 just coming out of it, and this OH will combine with the chlorine, and you will get calcium chloride and ammonia along with 2 molecules of water. So ammonia is collected by upward delivery as it lighter than the air and dried over quicklime. So to dehydrate it, to dry it, we used to use quicklime. Why? Because quicklime is a great adsorbent. Adsorbent means in surface chemistry we have studied. Adsorbent means when the liquid particle or the adsorbent just stick to the surface only, that is adsorb. When it move to the bulk, when it move deep into the bulk, at that time that is known as absorption. Absorption में liquid अंदर तक चला जाता है, absorb हो गया, and on in adsorption it just stick to the surface only. So sometimes we used to use silica gel for this, and sometimes we use quicklime. So quicklime is just absorb the thing. Since quicklime, I think you are familiar, tuna, that whitewash is tuna. So if you want to dehydrate your gas, you have to use quicklime. It will absorb all the moisture from this gas, this ammonia gas, and you will get a dehydrated gas. Since it is a lighter weight, it just move in the upward direction. So you have to collect in a separate test tube by placing one test tube over another. All right. Okay. Next is the commercial method, or different methods are there how you can manufacture. So this is the commercial method by which you can manufacture the ammonia on large scale. So how you can manufacture? This is a Haber process. In this, they have explained each and everything with the help of a flow chart, a flow diagram. So keep an eye on this, because this just explain you. So listen, diagram is that form of, or you can say flow chart is that form of learning in which you just learn each and everything in a single page. Okay, if you go like to the theoretical part and other methods, so you'll have to learn the theory also, but this diagram makes the thing easier for you. So let's just start with the diagram. Nitrogen and hydrogen we enter from two different pipes. Nitrogen gas we extracted from the air, same with the hydrogen we have extracted from the air. When these two gases just entered into the pipe, after that there is a compressor which compresses both the gases together. Means the compressor reduces the temperature and compress the gas, so that this gas will turn from liquid gaseous state to liquid state. Okay, the compressor reduces the temperature and apply pressure, which ultimately liquefy the gas. All right, next is, after that what happened, both the gases just reaches to a chamber there, which is known as the catalyst chamber. All right, So catalyst chamber, wait a second. In catalyst chamber, what happened? We catalyzes the reaction. Why the catalyst chamber is required? Because sometimes when your elements or your atoms do not react with each other, at that time we require special type of catalyst to start a reaction, or you can say to improve increase the rate of reaction. All right, so your catalyst may be iron or molybdenum. So we can use molybdenum. It is a D block compound, and I think you are familiar with the iron also. So catalyst here is molybdenum and iron, and we just arrange a temperature range which will be extended from 450 degrees Celsius to 500 degrees Celsius. After that, when your two nitrogen molecules and your three hydrogen molecules, I'm not talking about the atoms. Now atoms are 6, 3 to the 6. Six hydrogen atoms are there, but right now I'm talking about the molecules. So one nitrogen molecules and three hydrogen molecules at 450 to 500 degrees Celsius combine together and form ammonia, two molecules of ammonia. After that, this ammonia will get out of your catalyst chamber and it's reduced to the condenser. Condenser means the condenser, it's condense the gas, because when you raise the temperature up to 450 to 500 degrees Celsius, means that your gas is at gaseous state right now. So what happened when you just collect this ammonia and move through the condenser reduces the temperature and liquefy your gas. This is the process we have learned. Na? Okay, if you want to liquefy any gas, at that time you have to reduce the temperature. Simultaneously, you have to increase the pressure. If temperature is reduced, kinetic energy will be low, and after that we'll be able to compress this. That is how we used to fill our oxygen cylinders. Right? Because of pandemic, we are listening all the things that oxygen cylinders are, they're transporting from one place to another place. Your CNG, compressed natural gas, LPG, they transfer from one place to another place by compressing it and filling it into a cylinder like this. So this is a manufacture of ammonia on large scale, or you can say commercially. Commercially means when we just prepare something on large scale. So let us talk about the main points which we have just read in the, we have just studied in the diagram only. So in Haber process, it is a manufactured by reacting nitrogen and hydrogen in the process of finely divided catalyst at temperature of 700 degrees Celsius at the pressure of 200 atmosphere. So they have specified that what amount of temperature they take, what is the atmosphere there, atmospheric pressure there. Okay. So at that time, N2 plus 3H2 gives ammonia, 2NH3. Aluminum oxide, ferric oxide, and potassium oxide as it is added to the catalyst to improve its performance. So whenever it's required, we used to add different types of catalyst. In our process, I have explained you molybdenum and iron. These are the basic catalysts. But in case if you have aluminum oxide, if you have ferric oxide, if you have potassium oxide, then you can add these two as catalyst in your Haber process. But molybdenum and iron are the basic catalyst. Okay, these are the substitute, you can say. If you don't have those elements, you can add these also. They will just improve the rate of reaction. Okay, it make it more porous, and this produce a high surface to the reaction. This is the function of catalyst, that catalyst makes the your reaction more porous, and you will get a more surface area of your reactant so that they can react with other reactant and form product. So the reaction is reversible, hence it is not possible to convert all the reactant into ammonia. So this reaction is reversible. Whatever element left behind after the reaction, what happened? We just convert it back. We just take it back to the by reversing the reaction, and will separate hydrogen and nitrogen for the further process. To separate ammonia from the mixture is cooled, only ammonia liquefy and is separate. So what happened if you want to separate the mixture? So what we used to take it to the condenser, and that condenser cool down the gases, or you can say cool down the ammonia gas or liquefy it, and we'll separate the ammonia. The uncombined nitrogen and hydrogen are recycled. Another way of separation is to pass the mixture into the water, only ammonia dissolved. So if you want to separate out the uncombined nitrogen and hydrogen gas out of your ammonia, so what happened? If you just pass it through the water, the ammonia gas will dissolve in the water and remaining gas will left on the system, above the system, you can say, because these gases do not combine, mix with water by their own. We have to apply some pressure and reduce temperature. We have to apply some processes if you want to dissolve hydrogen and nitrogen into the water. Okay. Next is structure of ammonia. Your ammonia look like this. This is the structure where you have bone length. Bone length is about 1017 picometer, and the angle between the bonds means hydrogens which are arranged which are attached to this ammonia with nitrogen is 1078 degrees Celsius, 107.8. This is point, not comma. This is 107.8. So you can mention it like 107. So there is a specific angle and specific bone length which is related to this. Okay. Let's just move to the chemical reaction of ammonia. How your ammonia react with air, means how it reduces, and with other things. So let us start with the ammonia when react with gas, air, you can say. And when we talk about air, this means that we specifically mention about the oxygen, since we have abundance of oxygen in air. So with air, ammonia burn in a lot of air, means in the presence of oxygen, the flame is yellow green. So this can be 1 mark question also. When, what happened when, or you can say that which type of flame we will obtain when we heat ammonia or when we burn ammonia in presence of air, in presence of oxygen. At that time your flame color will be yellow green. Okay, and the reaction will be 4NH3 plus 3O2 gives 6H2O plus 2N2. Okay, so this will be the reaction and the flame color will be yellow. So you have to note it down this thing, because they can give you this question in 1 mark. When it reacts with oxygen or excess of air, in excess of air, the platinum catalyst to and add platinum catalyst to form nitrogen monoxide. So they can ask you this question also, that what happened when ammonia react with excess of oxygen, or name the catalyst in which, in the presence of which this reaction takes place. So that catalyst will be platinum. Okay, and your reaction will be 4NH3 plus 5O2 gives 4Na plus 6H2O. Second one is reduces. So what happened when your ammonia reduces? So ammonia reduces heated copper second oxide to copper, and that is copper turns from black to brown. At that time your reaction will be copper oxide, your CuO plus 2NH3 gas gives Cu plus H2O plus N2. Okay, so they can ask one question, that how you can reduce ammonia, by reacting which compound you can reduce ammonia. So your compound will be copper oxide, copper second oxide. All right, from each and every line or word they can give you objective question. Next is halogens. When it react with halogens, what happens? Ammonium chloride form. For example, let us talk about the chlorine. When your ammonia react with the chlorine, ammonium chloride form and nitrogen gas will liberate out. And when we take halogens in excess, so what happened? The ammonia plus 3Cl2 means your halogens in excess as compared to the ammonia. There you previously when we are reacting ammonia with the chlorine, so we'll take ammonia in excess, but when we access the halogens with which we are reacting your ammonia, at that time we'll obtain NCl3 and HCl. Okay, next is coordination complex. Ammonia solution or ammonia hydroxide contain hydroxyl ion with metal ion precipitates of hydroxides are formed. Hence, a blue precipitate forms when aqueous ammonia is added to copper second sulfate solution. The precipitate dissolve in excess of ammonia, forming a deep blue solution. So what will be the reaction? Your Cu2 positive plus OH gives CuOH, and when your Cu2 positives react with ammonia, it gives CuNH3 2 positive to the power whole. So this 2 positives comes above this NH3. Okay, the iron third is Fe2 positive, form a dirty green precipitate with ammonia insoluble in excess iron third, that is Fe3 positive, form a brown precipitate insoluble in excess. Just a sec. So let us talk about with the active metals. When you react your ammonia with the reactive metals or active metals. So highly active metal is sodium, since it is a highly reactive. So when you react your ammonia with sodium, so what happened? NaH2 plus H2 form. So there also they can ask you one question, say what that with which metals your ammonia will participate actively or react actively. So at that time you can take highly reactive elements which can react easily with the ammonia. Okay. So let us go for the reactions.